So MySQL. Okay, now the first these first five are the operators, so we will quickly go through them. By using them you can do simple calculations, or you can also write a complex expression like 6 plus 7, so you will get the answer. This is how we use a plus operator, and you can similarly use it in any expression, like you can use a constant and a plus operator and a field name, so that value will be added to the field name. For example, we have amount field in the payment table. Describe payment. So we have amount field in the payment table, which is a decimal field. Now let's say select amount just to give you an example, I have displayed only one record of this select statement, and I have displayed the value of amount field, and then again displayed the value by adding 7 to the amount field using the plus operator. So amount is 2.99, and after adding 7 to this we got 9 plus 99. Similarly, we can make other expressions like amount minus 7, amount multiplied by 7, amount divided by 7, so we get all the answers. So this is how we can use these mathematical operators: plus, minus, multiply and divide. And the fifth operator is the modulo operator. Modulo is for modulus. It is used to find the remainder. For example, 5 percentage 3. It means divide 5 by 3 and display the remainder. So the remainder will be 2. So we got 2 as the answer, because 3 ones are 3, 5 minus 3 is 2. So modulo operator always performs a division and displays the remainder of that division. Then we have this div. This is also for division, but it performs only integer division. It means select 5 by 3 and 5 div 3. So 5 by 3 is a normal division. Normal division means it do the division and prints the answer, but 5 div 3 will only print the integer part of the answer. It will discard the numeric part if the answer has a numeric part. So in our case, the numeric part was 0.667. It was discarded, and only the integer part, which is 1, was displayed while using the div operator. Absolute value, it only returns the positive answer. So even if the answer is negative, it converts it into a positive and returns the positive value. So select absolute minus 5 will return 5. It will convert any negative value to positive value, and it will leave the positive value as it is. A cos, A sin, actually it is called arc cos, arc cosine, arc sine, arc tangent. These are basically cos inverse, sine inverse, tangent inverse. All of you have done it in metric class or in 10th class, so I will not go into example of this. If you want to calculate arc of any trigonometric function, you can write the respective function and put the value in it, and you will get the answer. Ceiling, ceil and ceiling are both the same, these two. So returns the smallest integer not less than x. In short, ceiling will return, if you have a value in decimal, it will return the next nearest positive integer. Oh sorry, positive integer next nearest integer. So let's say select CEIL suppose 1.4. So the answer should be 2 because the next positive integer nearest to 1.4 is 2. And it should be next highest integer nearest to 1.4. So next highest integer nearest to 1.4 is 2. So whenever you write the ceil function and if the number has a value in decimal, you will get the next highest integer. And if we discard this part, then ceil will return the same value. Its opposite is floor. So floor 1.4 will return the nearest lowest value, the nearest lowest value to 1.4, and ceil will return the nearest highest value to 1.4. So in case of ceil you will get the next highest number. In case of floor you will receive the previous nearest integer value, which is 1. And if you give integer values or the values that don't have any decimal part in it, then you will get the same answer. So ceil 1 and floor 1 will just return 1. Got it?
Yes sir, yes sir.
I think we have done all of these. I don't know. Oh yes, I think we started with these values because I'm just remembering that we have done all of this. Yes. आपने बताया नहीं. We have done all this because we started with the numeric function, then we came to string functions, and at the end we did those aggregate functions. So we have done all of this. So I am skipping them because we have already covered all of these. Anyway, just take it as a review. Convert function is used to convert between another data type or another, converts numbers between different number bases. Let's check the syntax of it. Convert number from base to base. So okay, so let's say if I write select convert, let's say the number is 1101 and I say this is a binary number, so from base is 2 and I want to convert it into a decimal number, so which is 10. Decimal is base 10, so this is 13. And if you check this out, 1 2 4 8 8 plus 4 is 12, 12 plus 1 is 13, so the answer is right. Similarly, if I want to convert a decimal to a hex, or a hex to a decimal, or a decimal to a octal, or octal to a hex, or hex to a binary, you can do all type of conversions using this convert function. Very helpful function if you are doing if you are writing a system program or a graphics library. So again, cosine, cotangent, we all know, we can, so I'm skipping them. These are not commonly used functions. Degrees, this is used for converting radians to degrees, and there is also radian function that does just the opposite, so converts from radians to degrees. So radians, pi radian is equal to 180 degrees, so let's check this out. The value of pi is 3.1415. So we should get 180 as the answer. Oh, it is degree or degrees? Degrees. So roughly 180 is the answer, and its opposite function is radians. So if we put this, if we give this value to the radians, we will get 3.1415. Like select radians 180. So we will get 3.1415, which is the value of pi, because pi radians is equals to 180 degrees. So anyway, these two functions are helpful in doing trigonometric or geometric calculations. Exponent, basically it is if you want to calculate e power something, which we call exponent. So if we want to calculate e power 3 or e power 4 or something like this, then we use this function. This is also called an anti-logarithm. So select exponent 3, it means e power 3. So we will get the respective answer. And I think if we calculate log of 20, we will get 3. Select log of 20.08. So the answer is roughly 3, because I have not put the whole number. So actually this is anti-logarithm. Yeah. We have already done floor. Greatest returns the greatest argument. So it is used to find greatest value among the given values. So let's say if I write select greatest 2, 5, 10, 1, so it will return the greatest value among the given values. So you can give it any number of values and it will find out the greatest number among those. Similarly, the opposite of this is lowest. Oh, lowest, not lowest, least. Greatest, least. चेक करते हैं, शायद lowest भी कोई होगा. अच्छा नहीं, least है. So the opposite of it is least, not lowest. ln, I have already done it. This is used to calculate natural logarithm. Log is also used to calculate natural logarithm, and log 10 is used to calculate log to the base 10, and this is used to calculate log to the base 2. तो जैसे हमने log यूज़ किया है, same are the examples of log and log 10 and log 2. Mod is also equivalent of modulo operator. It returns the same thing. So select 5 mod 3 and 5 modulo 3 will both return the same answer, because both are the same. Oct, it returns the octal value. If you know, octal value is a value whose base is 10. So if you want to convert a decimal number to an octal value, I think it will be able to convert. Here n is a long. So it receives the decimal number and it will convert it into an octal number. Octal is base 8. So it means that octal of 9 will be 10. Oh sorry, 8 is 10, 9 will be 11. Fine, because 0 se start ho raha hai. Anyway, again, these are not commonly used functions. You only use hex, oct and base functions when you are working with when you have to do scientific calculations or calculations that involve these computer architecture processing or processing in graphic libraries. Pi, it will simply return you the value of pi, which is 3.1415. How to use it? Select pi. So it will return you the value of pi. Power function and power both are same. quite useful function. It is used to calculate power of a number. Select, you can write power, you can write POW. Let's say I want to calculate 2 power 3, so first the base and then the power, so I will get the respective answer. Radians, I have already done it. Rand is a abbreviation of random. It returns a random number between 0 and 1, like select rand so whenever you will call this function, it will return a random value between 0 and 1. Now the question is how we can use it meaningfully. Let's say I want to get a random guess or random number between 1 and 100. So the rule is select 1, which is our lower number in the range, plus random into which is 100, which is our upper range. So we will get a value between, now we will get a value between 1 and 100. Every time we call it, we will get a value. And to get an integer value, you can put all this in an integer function. Oh sorry, it doesn't have an integer function, so it means we will have to use some other function. Oh sorry, this is, we can use truncate function. Truncate this comma 0. Come on, truncate can, oh, you have to write the full name, truncate. So by calling a truncate function, we will only get an integer value, and if you want to have a decimal value, then we don't have to use the truncate function. So this is how we can use random function to find random values between our two given ranges. Each time we call it, we will get a different value. Round is used to round a number to the let's say round 5.6 and similarly round 5.4. Now the rule of rounding is, oh just a minute, 5.6 and 5.64. Now the rule of round, and I want to round it to one decimal place. Similarly, I want to round it to one decimal place. Now the rule is that if I want to round these two numbers to one decimal place, I must provide a number of having two decimal places, just as I have given in the example. So the round function will check the number at the second decimal place. In case of 5.66, the second number is 6. Now the number at the second place, if the number at the second place is greater than or equal to 5, then the number at the first place will be incremented by 1. And so in this case the answer will be 5.67, but in this case the answer will remain 5.6 because the number at the second decimal place is less than 5. So the first one became 5.6 of 5.7 because of rounding, and second one will remain 5.6 because the round function rounds the value. Rounds mean increments the value by 1 only if the number at the second place will be greater than or equal to 5. So this is how the rounding works. Sign function, it returns the sign of a number. If the number is a positive number, it returns 1. If the number is a neutral number, 0 is the only neutral number, the answer will remain 0. it means it has no sign, it's a neutral number. And if the number is a negative number, it will return -1. And sign will return the sign of a angle. sqrt will return the square root. Tan is for tangent, and truncate, I have already done truncate function. Truncate is to discard a decimal number up to the required number of decimal places, like select, चलिए इसको ऐसे कर लेते हैं, select sqrt 3 and then I say truncate sqrt 3 to 3 decimal places, and again I say round sqrt 3 to 3 decimal places. So the actual answer is 1.732050 and so on, if I take a square root of 3. In case of truncate, I have asked truncate will I have passed the value 3. It means truncate all the numbers after third decimal place. So it will keep 1.732 and discard all the number which is 0, 5, 0, 8, so on. The round function will try to round the function up to 3 decimal places. So basically it means that it will check the number at the fourth decimal digit at the fourth decimal place. If that digit is 5 or greater than 5, it will increment the digit at the third decimal place. So in our case, the number at the fourth decimal place is 0. See here. So because this number is less than 5, it 2 will remain as it is. But suppose if I change it to 4, then the answer will be different. The number at the fifth decimal place is 5, because if we have a number greater than or equal to 5, then the rounding means add 1 to the previous digit. So 0 will be incremented by 1. Anyway, this is how we use truncate and round, and I have used the square root function as well. So these were the numeric functions. We have already did them in the start, but I have just given you a quick review of them. Next and the last are the control flow functions. Control flow functions are basically the equivalent of if and select case in programming languages. This if function is just like if we use in Excel, and case is used. Case is not in Excel. In Excel, we use if for both case and if. One is if, one is if. Okay, so let's do an example of case, and then let's do an example of if. Now, case is an operator, and it works like this. You write the case keyword, you give a value, and then you give different criteria. So basically it means that when the value is equal to this value, then output this result. When this value is equals to this, then give this result, so on. At the end you give else this result, and it has two sentences. The other sentence is you don't give a value here, you write case when you give a condition here, then this result, another condition, then this result, as this result. So okay, so by using this query, by calling the distinct function, I have find out all the distinct amount values in the payment table. Although payment table have a number, I think a large number of records, but the distinct values in the amount column are these 19 values. So just for practice, and just as an example, let's write a case operator on these values. So we write select case amount. Right now I am using the first sentence of case, which is this one, in which you give a value here. In the second sentence you don't give a value here and you give a condition here. Okay. So we say select case amount when 2.99 okay, then I want to print something. Let's say so I have written the statement that compare the amount with in the amount column. Okay, just do one more thing. And let's give this in small areas. Okay, now the query is I have printed two things, the amount and then a case on the amount, and in the inside the case statement I have tried to display three things. If the amount is equals to 2.99, then low price will be printed. If the amount is 0.99, then again low price will be printed. Otherwise normal price will be printed. And I have given the result of this I have given a heading of status to this expression. Now we know, because we know that we have a large number of values in the payment column, so I'm using distinct clause here so that it will only display 19 rows. AMOUNT. Oh, sorry, I forgot to write from payment table. So because of this case statement, the amounts are being displayed here in the from the amount column, and their status is displayed here on the basis of this criteria. This is a very useful function in which you can do such type of things inside the database by using your case statement in your query. Let's do the second syntax. The second syntax, I do this. Instead of writing amount here, now I will write a condition here. I say when amount is less than when amount is less than 5, 0, then print low price. When amount is less than 9.0, print suppose normal price, else print high price. So for all the values that are less than or equal, less than 5, it will print low price in the status column. This is a calculated column. It doesn't exist in this table. It is generated on the runtime based on the values of the result of this expression, result of this case expression or case operator. So we can use two syntax. In the first syntax, you can only use equal to operator. So you don't have to write the operator. You will just write the this column name inside the case operator, and you will write all your equality values in the when clauses. When first value, then this; when second value, then this; when third value, then this; as this, and in the second case, we don't give a value here. We don't give the column name or the field name here on which we want to make a comparison, and we just write when, and here we can give criteria, but this is a more flexible form in which we can use greater than operator, less than operator, equal to operator, and greater than, equal to, or less than operator. But in the first example, in the first syntax, there is only equal to operator. We don't have to write it. It's built into the syntax. So if you just want to compare equalities, then it's better to use this syntax. But if you have to use inequalities, like you want to give a complex condition, then use this syntax. ठीक है जी, ये केस है, ये है सिंपल, बट एक दफ़ा आप करेंगे तो आपको ये क्लियर हो जाएगा एग्जांपल इसकी. इफ़ फंक्शन एक्चुअली केस भी इफ़ ही यूज़ करता है इंटरनली, बट इफ़ फंक्शन इज स्पेसिफिकली जो आपको इफ़ अप्लाई करना पड़ता है, जैसे आप एक्सेल में हम करते हैं. ये देखें, ओके हो गया जी. इफ़ एक्सप्रेशन 1, एक्सप्रेशन 2, यू हैव टू गिव इट 3 values. Now the first value, which is expression 1, you write your condition, and these are the return values. So let's write an example of if. Select amount, comma, if amount is less than 5, print low price, else print normal price as status from payment. Again, put distinct here. So again we got the same answer, similar answer on the basis of this if condition. Now it is checking if the amount is less than 5, print low price, else normal price. And if we want to imitate this result, then what we will do, instead of outputting normal price, we will write another if statement. We will write if amount is less than 9.0, print normal price, otherwise print high price. So I have written an if in another if. This is just like we write in Excel. There is no difference between this syntax and the syntax we write in Excel. Now we get this answer and this answer are exactly the same. So anyway, this is how you can display an output on the basis of a condition inside the select statement. So this was example of case and if null. This is a function that tells that tells us that whether the value of a field is null or not. And I don't think in this database there are null values in any columns. Last time we made a table ourselves. Yes, this results table describe results, describe test. Okay, we can apply this if null on the test table. That in the test table there are two fields, name and email, and in the email column the email of person named Tanveer is not entered. That is why computer is displaying or sorry, database is displaying null in that column against the name of Tanveer. So let's say the requirement is that if the person has entered an email address or the email address is available in the database, that email address should be displayed. And if the email is not entered, instead of displaying null, it should display not provided. So instead of this null value here in the results, I want the word not provided here. So we can write it using case statement as well and if statement as well, but let's see how we can use it. We want to display name and we say if null email, we will print not provided, otherwise we will print the email. Oh, it means, just a minute, let me check the syntax of this function. Oh, we have to provide two values. If expression 1 is not null, if null returns expression 1, otherwise, oh, so we only have to write these two values. So it will check if the value of email is not null, it will print the value of email, and if it is null, it will print the value we have provided, which is not, it should be not provided. Not provided. So this is how we can use the if null function, and we can apply it on any column in which we know that null values are possible, and instead of displaying the null value or empty cells, I want to display a specific statement there. So we can use this function and provide our write our specific value of whether it is a numeric value or a string value. So if the column value is null, it will print our provided value. And the last one is null if. This is basically a condition. Returns null if expression 1 is equals to expression 2 is true, otherwise returns expression 1. This is the same as case when expression 1 is equal to expression 2, then null L expression 1. Okay, so basically this function compares the value of expression 1 with expression 2. If both the values are same, it returns a null value, and if they are not same, it returns the value of expression 1. So we can null if 2 comma 2, null if 2 comma 3. So in the first case, it will, the result of this should be null because both the values are same. Then the result of this should be 2 because the values are not same. So the answer of first is null and the answer of second is 2. Anyway, this is very specific case. So we use it when we have such type of scenario. If the two values are similar, we have to output a null value, and if they are not similar, we have to output the first value, the value of the first parameter. So in fact these first three are mostly used. I have used them, this case operators, if function and if null, a lot of times in many projects. So they are the most commonly used one: case operator, if function and if null. So with this our built-in functions are done. I am skipping them because as you can see there is a huge list of functions. These are secondary functions, bit functions, encryption and hashing functions, information functions. These functions are used to create packages like PHP MyAdmin because they return the information about the database, about the server, about the columns and so on. Anyway, these are geographic functions. They are used if you are making a GIS system, geographical information system. So the next topic is joins. We will next topic is joins, and let me open up the course folder. Next topic is this one: union and intersection queries and subqueries, and then we will move on to joins. Okay, there are two keywords. One is union and one is intersection or intersect. They are used to return. The union keyword is used to merge the result of two queries, and the intersect keyword is used to take an intersection of the result of two queries. Just like we use union in sets that we studied in mathematics, and intersection in sets. So whenever we apply the union or intersection, first of all the two queries are executed. The result is the server finds the result and makes two sets, one set from the result of first query and the second set from the result of second query. Then it takes a union of those two results and display the resulting answer. Similarly, in case of intersection, the intersection of those two results is made or calculated, and the final result is displayed to the user or displayed on the screen. Here one thing is very important, that both the queries should output same number of columns and same name and number of columns, because you can only find a union and intersection if the two sets are similar. If the two sets are not similar, then you cannot calculate their union and intersection. First I will explain it through an example here. Okay, so we have three tables here: student, registration, and course. And okay, so it means the number of columns should be same only. Fine. So in the first query is only this one: select code comma title from course, from this table, code and title. And in the second query I have written select ID and name from student. So I have taken two columns from this table and two columns from this table, and then I have put a union in between these two queries. So ultimately what will happen, first query will execute and I will get the result, then second query will execute the result, and then computer will take a union will combine both the result to find the to display the final result, and final result will be displayed here. This is another example. Actually I am not writing the practical examples here because in this database, okay, we can check out let's check out the design of the database and see where we can apply or practice the union intersection of the queries. There are 600 rows in the city table. So it means the city IDs are going from 1 to 600. Okay, now let's say if I want to, this is not a very meaningful example but just give you an idea of how union works. Let's say I write one query in which I want to display IDs of first 10 cities and then IDs of last 10 cities. So one way of doing it is select city ID comma name from city where city ID is less than 10, less than or equal to 10, union select city ID comma name from city where city ID is greater than or equal to 590. Oh, column name does not exist. Describe. Oh, instead of name, the column name is city itself. City. So actually what the computer has done is it has executed the first query, then executed the last query, and then taken a union of these two. And we know that in case of union, if we have a value that is common in between the two sets, it is displayed only once. So let's do an example of that as well. But here the two sets are totally distinct, which means that in the first the result of first in the result of first query, the IDs are from 1 to 10, and in the result of second query, the IDs are from 590 to 600. So there are two distinct sets, and ultimately we got a union of both the sets. But let's say if I change the criteria, we say where city ID is greater than or equal to, less than or equal to 10, and in the second case we say the city ID is greater than or equal to 5, and city ID is less than or equal to let's say 15. But ultimately we only got 15 results instead of 20. Reason: the result of two queries overlap, and when we take a union, the result that appear in both the sets are taken in the final result only once. So this query, the first query, will display the records in which city ID is 1 to 10. The second query will display the record in which city ID is 5 to 15. So 5 to 10 are the common records between these two sets, but they will be, while taking union, they will be displayed only once. So these records, they will be displayed only once in while taking the union. However, if you take an intersection, now in the first query the intersection was nothing, but now intersection, the records 5 to 10 appear in both the queries, so they will become as a result of the intersection, because they appear in the result set of both the queries. So this is how union and intersection work inside the queries. Sometimes the queries are so complex that sometimes the query requirements are so complex that you cannot get your results using a single query. So in that case, there are many techniques used. You see that can you find the result using a union, or using an intersection, or using a subquery. So then you go accordingly. First of all, the best approach is to write one single query and get result from that query. But if you cannot, if the requirement is so complex that the results cannot be gathered using one single query, then you have to resort to these techniques. You either use the union or the intersection or a subquery. Today's last topic is how to use a subquery. So as the name shows, a subquery is the query written inside another query. Now let's say describe city, describe country. These are two tables, country table and city table. Now let's say I don't know joins, because we have not yet studied the joins, but the requirement is to display city ID, city name, and the country in which that city is located, which means the country name. The problem is that in the country table we have country ID and country name, and in the city table we have city ID and city name, but country ID, not the country name. But the requirement of my query are that I have to display city ID, city name, and country name. Now we can do this using a subquery. Select city ID, city name, which is the field city itself, and then instead of writing here country ID, I will write another query here. Inside the brackets I will write select country from country where country ID is equals to now there is one issue here. These two fields are same and we will have an ambiguity here, so let's write here city.country ID and where country.country ID is equals to, let's limit the results to only 10 rows so that we can view the results easily. So this way, using a subquery, even without the knowledge of join and using a subquery, I have displayed the country name by using the country ID from the city table. So what I have done is, in the field list, instead of writing a field name here which is country ID, I have written select country from country where country.country ID is equals to city. So I have written that find out the name of the country from the country table, and the criteria is where the country ID field from the country table is equals to country ID field from the city table. So actually I have matched the country ID of the city table with the country ID of the country table, and in that row I have picked, from that row I have picked the name of the country and then displayed it here. So this is an example of a subquery. A subquery, the strength or beauty of subquery is it can be written in the field list in the select clause, it can be written in the it can be written inside in replacement of a table name in the from clause, or it can also be written in the where clause. So a subquery can be written in a select clause or a from clause or a where clause. If I want to use it in a where clause, yes, we use the subquery in a where clause when I want to select result I use the subquery in the where clause when I want to select some columns from the result of another query. So the other query will be used as a temporary table. First that query will execute, and there's from the result of those query I will okay, this will confuse you. Let me write it and then explain it. SQL statement. Just a minute, let me check out for example of such type of query. अच्छा एनीवे ये ना मुझे भी इसकी एग्जांपल भी ज़हन में नहीं आ रही, क्योंकि इसके कोई ऐसा केस देखना पड़ेगा जिसमें हमें कोई ऐसा रिज़ल्ट चाहिए हो जो वैसे टेबल से ना आ रहा हो। तो एनीवे इसको ना मैं सोचता हूँ इसकी एग्जांपल, एंड आई विल एक्सप्लेन इट इन सॉरी वी विल do that example in the next class. But the basic idea of subquery is that you write a query inside another query, either in the select clause or from clause or where clause. तो ये हम अभी ऐसे जब जॉइंस कर लेंगे ना, तो फिर हम देखेंगे कुछ ऐसे कॉम्प्लेक्स सिनेरियोज होते हैं जहाँ एक सिंगल क्यूरी से या एक सिंपल क्यूरी से इवन जॉइंट यूज़ करने के बावजूद भी हमारा जो रिज़ल्ट है वो नहीं आता। तो फिर ऐसे सिनेरियोज़ में हम जैसे मैंने आपको पहले बताया कि हम फिर चेक करते हैं आइदर वी हैव टू यूज़ सब क्यूरीज और यूनियंस और इंटरसेक्शन, और फिर हम उस तरीके से अपना रिज़ल्ट फाइंड आउट करते हैं या कैलकुलेट करते हैं।